Welcome to the Friday Spotlight Energy Report for September 17th, 2010. Hosted by Jed Knudsen, Shona Kay, and Chantel Flanders. Here is Shona Kay with this week's major headlines.
Thanks, Jed. All deepwater oil drilling projects face more scrutiny than ever these days due to the BP Deepwater Horizon disaster. But now shallow water drilling is seeing its fair share of problems as well. The issuing of permits has all but come to a standstill, as regulators are being more careful than ever about approving projects. Compared to last year, there have only been about 25% as many project approvals granted. Drilling companies are worried that things will only get worse once the deepwater moratorium is lifted, and some believe that there may be a hidden agenda to punish offshore drillers. Admiral Thad Allen believes that BP will have the Macondo well permanently sealed by Saturday. The 4-month-long process of drilling the relief well is just about completed. Mud and cement will be pumped into the well, permanently sealing it. Queensland and Papua New Guinea have signed a memorandum of cooperation for developing a hydroelectricity project. If they move forward with the project, thousands of jobs would be created in both areas. In addition, the project would help lower carbon emissions and at the same time provide power to remote areas of PNG. Anna Bligh, the Premier of Queensland, is very optimistic and excited about the venture and stated, "Access to reliable energy such as this may help open up significant industrial development in PNG." United States officials announced on Wednesday that all inactive oil wells are expected to be plugged. In total, there are some 3,500 non-oil producing wells in the Gulf of Mexico. The government will also require energy companies to dismantle all unused platforms. Some of these projects have been idle for well over a decade. During that time, few, if any of them, have been inspected for leaks or other system failures. The government expects these new regulations to go into effect sometime in October. Tony Hawyard may be on his way out as CEO of BP, but he's still in the spotlight concerning BP's safety issues. He recently testified in front of UK lawmakers that despite the tragedy in the Gulf, BP has had an above-average safety rating. He requested that this one accident not result in a deep-water drilling ban in UK waters. The Environmental Protection Agency is stepping up its investigations into hydrofracking. The government agency recently requested that 9 hydraulic fracturing companies provide information on chemicals used during operations. Although all information turned over is on a voluntary basis, this will be a good measuring stick for what kind of resistance legislators can expect from the industry in the future. The EPA will use all information gathered during this process to conduct a study on this very controversial practice. It's expected to be completed by 2012. Now over to Jed for our top energy news stories in the United States.
Thanks, Shona. Rhode Island and Massachusetts officials gathered this week to discuss possible joint energy projects. The topic of discussion was offshore renewable energy initiatives in federal waters that border both states. GM is looking to get a leg up on its competition by investing over $3 million with a Michigan lithium-ion battery company. The company is developing advanced battery technology that the president of GM called a real game changer. The new lithium-ion batteries are expected to be smaller, have a higher density, generate a greater power range for the vehicles, and be much less expensive to produce. 2 private investment companies are backing one of the hottest new forms of biofuel, jatropha seeds. Investors have put up over $9 million for the development of this biofuel source that can be used in the production of jet fuel, biodiesel, and pesticides. These seeds also have quite a few other natural applications. They are being viewed as an alternative to biofuel source crops that can also be used as food, such as sugarcane, corn, and soy. 350.org founder Bill McKibben and a group of students recently headed to Washington in an effort to get the U.S. president to reinstall solar panels put in place during the Jimmy Carter administration. The panels were removed during a White House renovation project and were never replaced. McKibben believes that the gesture would go a long way in setting an example for the American public about the importance of integrating solar power into our everyday lives. While White House officials listened to his pleas, he was eventually told no thank you. The White House later released a statement to the effect that this administration is doing more than any previous administrations to promote renewable energy, and that one solar panel would hardly make a dent in the energy consumed in the White House. For the record, solar energy is currently being utilized at the White House to heat the presidential pool. Now over to Chantel with more energy news from around the world.
Thanks, Jed. The much-publicized energy deals between the United States and India are already in jeopardy. A law was passed in India last week that could make it all but impossible for U.S. companies to compete in the Indian nuclear energy market. The new law will make companies that supply equipment to nuclear facilities liable in the case of accidents. This is contrary to normal practices where the plant operator assumes all responsibility. U.S. suppliers are concerned that they may not be able to secure insurance for these projects, making it unlikely that they would be involved in them. Vestas Wind Systems, a Denmark-based wind energy company, recently came under scrutiny when one of its turbine blade pieces detached from a prototype. Even though the company's investigation claimed human error, shares continue to decline. This unfortunate incident comes on the tail end of reduced forecast that also caused a massive dip in the value of Vestas stock. Last week, we reported that German Chancellor Angela Merkel was trying to push through legislation that would extend nuclear operations at the expense of the expansion of the wind industry. A German public television broadcasting station, ZDF, conducted a poll of 1,221 people on the subject. Only 33% of individuals polled were in favor of the proposed changes. That is your energy news for this week. For more headlines, visit us at worldenergymedia.com. This is Chantel Flanders for Jed Knutson and Shona Kay at World Energy Media. Thanks for watching and have a great day.